Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all. So the message today is breakdown leads to breakthrough. And this is some hard fucking energy, so, hang on. So we start out with this beautiful energy. We've got the Woman of Cups, or, Queen of Cups, in this deck called the Rejoicer. And then we've got the Magician. So it looks like, wanting to manifest something, in the process of manifesting something that would be very nourishing. She's the Rejoicer. It's something, very emotionally fulfilling, very nurturing, and I'm guessing, this is you, whatever gender you are. It's this very Queen of Cups, very loving, nurturing, and something about that loving, nurturing with the Magician. This could be something that, bringing something to manifestation that you've really poured a lot of yourself into. And so, really looking forward to this thing. And then I don't do reversals in this deck, but somehow, some way, the 10 of Worlds or 10 of Pentacles came out reversed. So it's like whatever she is manifesting, it's not showing up. And I don't laugh because it's funny. I laugh because it's not an easy reading. So, 10 of Worlds, this is called reward. And so it's just not showing up. And, hopefully, as it being the Queen of Cups, it does feel like, you've poured a lot of yourself into it. It's not Pentacles, so I don't know that you've really invested a lot of money into whatever this is. It could be that you're working on manifesting money because this is Pentacles energy. And so whatever it is that you're really pouring your heart into, it's just not showing up. So in between this energy and this energy is the 9 of Swords, 9 of Crystals, in this deck called narrowness. And so somehow, normally this card would be like a bridge, but really this is the block. And so what's blocking is narrowness. And the 9 of Crystals, 9 of Swords, it's like the worst deck ever. It's like, or worst card in the deck. I mean, it's just, it's like losing sleep at night, constant worries, constant fears, constantly energizing the worst, or it's trauma. I often see trauma in this card because it's like you've been so traumatized in the past that all you can do is fear that trauma is all that you're ever going to get. So, it's very different energies when you're putting so much into something, but then you're so attached to the outcome that it just won't show up, because overlying all of this is all of this. And in some ways, maybe this can be productive for you because it is surfacing trauma, and it puts you into the process of healing, whether you like it or not. And so to clarify this narrowness, I'm just like, oh fuck. To clarify this 9 of Swords energy, this narrowness, we have the 5 of Crystals, which is the 5 of Swords, which is called negativity in this deck. Normally I look at the 5 of Swords as either like a gaslighting card or a win at all costs kind of a thing. And then we've also got the 7 of Cups, which isn't always a bad card, but in this deck it's called fear. So we've got fear and negativity along with narrowness, and the 10 of Pentacles reversed in a deck that I don't do reversals with. So I'm like, why? I almost didn't take the reading, but sometimes we need to look at what's going on. So again, 9 of Crystals, narrowness, and negativity and fear. So let's all take a deep breath, again, it looks like there's just a lot of trauma here. There's a lot of, and so again, if we can look at this productively, it is energy that wants to be acknowledged, energy that wants to be processed. I like that the Magician is here because in some ways, you can look at it as somehow this is your manifestation. And it's not to say that you did anything wrong, but sometimes we have to look at our beliefs or the trauma that's blocking our our bridge, our openness to receiving what we truly want, to receiving our rewards. And so I want to say the rewards are there. It is there. It's just being blocked by these things right here. So again, I just want to take a deep breath. I want to talk about like Louise Hay and that book, You Can Heal Your Life. And she talks about when you start doing manifestations, and her example is like, say you start doing manifestations for abundance, then often you'll get the opposite of the results you're looking for. So this is exactly that. And so if you know that you have been doing affirmations to manifest abundance, and then all of a sudden, like you lose your wallet, or all of a sudden you get an unexpected bill or something, or just it doesn't show up, or whatever it is, things go wrong. She said, actually look to these negative manifestations of what you are bringing about, because what's happening is it is surfacing your beliefs about that very thing. And so if it's subliminal, if it's buried in the subconscious, it needs to come up for you to review so that you can see it, so that you can work through it. So again, breath work is very helpful. Put your feet on the ground, find your feet, connect. Sometimes it's just very helpful to look around you and look for anything that can bring you grounding. Find your feet, connect. You will get through this. You will, okay? So we've got that. But then on top of all of that clarification, we had the Death card and the Ace of Crystals. And so that's where breakdown leads to breakthrough. You've got the Death card and then the Ace of Crystals, the Ace of Swords. I feel like this is like a light at the end of the tunnel. And so some great clarity comes through, but it's like all of this stuff has to surface so that you can have kind of an ego death or whatever. So for whatever reason, life wants you to face your greatest fears. But the thing is that once these fears are faced, then they have no hold on you. And once the trauma has surfaced, then you're kind of forced to deal with it. But then it doesn't mean the trauma is completely gone, but at least when once you overcome it, then it doesn't have the hold on you that it did before. And you know that while challenges may arise again, and they inevitably do, there is some sort of transformative quality to what you're going through right now. It's not all for nothing. It's not all for nothing. And say it out loud. Look in the mirror. Say, this is not all for nothing. This is for some deep, deep healing. This is for some deep, deep transformational soul work. And however important this thing may seem to you, because this could be like, not getting the rent paid or something, and that's really, really scary. But if you can recognize that this is a transformation that is happening for you that leads to this Ace of Crystals, it leads to brilliance. So again, it's like light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I almost called this video. I couldn't decide. So then, to give just a little bit more information about this Death and this Ace of Crystals, we have the Sage of Worlds, which is called the Master. It reminds me of the Eight of Pentacles, but this is more like the Knight of Pentacles. So really what it tells me is just get to work. What can you find to put your energy into? It's almost like to satiate your mind so that you're not energizing all the fear and the narrowness and the negativity. What can you put your energy into to be more productive? But what's also interesting is that there's two different wheels on this card. So in some ways it feels like if you can just put your energy into something positive, maybe be of service to somebody else, or find whatever you can do to make you feel good about the work that you do, or something like that. It feels like you're moving the energy. Instead of that energy collecting in your mind and creating more trauma, you start creating actions. And it feels like with this wheel, it's like turning the wheel of fate, turning the wheel of fortune. And underneath that, you've got Devil's Play, but then after that, the Ace of Worlds. So, with the Devil, it does kind of feel like God, there's so much there and I don't have a whole lot of time. It just kind of feels like you're moving the energy forward, and you do get to this Ace of Worlds. You do get to this Ace of Pentacles. So it does feel like there will be a breakthrough. I've gone over time for TikTok. So that's pretty much the core of the message. I guess a little bit more. Just with this Devil's Play, it's a little bit confusing, but I think it's an opportunity with the Death card and this Devil card. Oh, and then I didn't even see that, but then somehow the Ace of Wands came out too. So now you've got the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Worlds, and the Ace of Crystals on top of this Devil's Play card. So it feels a lot like, I don't know, facing your own inner demons in a way. Maybe I'll make this a part 2 on TikTok. I think that's what I'll do. And so it just wants to be a little bit longer. You know, what's weird is that it's on this particular card, and these two guys are laughing. And so what it kind of reminds me of is my forever best friend, Joe King. He would tell a story about... I think he had a psychedelic experience, actually. And he said Laughing Wolf came to him, and Laughing Wolf grabbed him by the throat with his teeth. And Laughing Wolf told him, "You better laugh, and you better mean it, or else I'll rip your throat out." That's so intense. But then he said, "Laughing Wolf is life." So, you know, and it's so silly. I deleted some kind of mean comments on my YouTube channel yesterday, because the lady was like yelling at me for laughing at the challenges that we have, because she was facing some very real challenges. And it's not that I didn't care about the challenges she was facing. It's just that I didn't want to go into it on comments in my YouTube channel, because, you know, while we can look to tarot to inspire us and to give us guidance, like, you can't just go to a general reading and expect, you know, just a tarot reader on YouTube to like understand something that's so deeply, deeply traumatic. Like, definitely get a personal reading if you can, but you can't hold a general reading accountable for some very deep trauma that your family is going through and then say, "How dare you laugh, I'll never watch your channel again." I mean, I guess you can, because that's what she did. But so it's interesting that story about Laughing Wolf grabbing you by the throat. So to that lady that left a comment, if you do end up watching this video, obviously, I don't know you, and I had no idea what your family is going through. So I wasn't meaning to imply that, you know, something in the nature of what you're going through is funny. But at the same time, that metaphor wanted to come up, and that's what reminded me of you, is that Laughing Wolf will grab you by the throat and rip your fucking throat out. So you can either not laugh and let your throat get ripped out, or you can find some redeeming quality in everything, I guess. Like, the worst happens. There's nothing I can do to prevent what happens to your family. There's things in my own family. I'm a single mom supporting kids, you know, and there's things that happen that I don't have control over. We just do the best that we can, and sometimes humor is the only way we can get through it. Sometimes humor helps to break up the seriousness. And sometimes once we're able to laugh and release the energy a little bit, then we're able to start finding our way to solutions. And so it's interesting. I didn't expect Devil's Play to lead us to that, but it's not just the devil, it's Devil's Play. So it is in a way, like, with this intense energy that's been coming through, it really does feel like this transformative energy. Sometimes you can't take life so seriously. It's not so personal. It's not so personal all the time. Sometimes it just is what it is. Sometimes it just is what it is, and there's some deeper underlying energy at play that's meant to transform you. And then I also want to point out that not only do we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Worlds, Ace of Crystals, which is the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. So we've got fire, air, and earth energy here. And so this is Aces are opportunities. Aces are doors opening. So whatever isn't working out in your life, it could be that you need to close some doors, if nothing else, closing the doors onto some old belief systems so that you can get this brilliance, this clarity. That was the first ace that came out. And so this great opportunity to view life from a new perspective. I love that it's crystals, because crystals are multifaceted, and sometimes you need to view situations through a different lens. And then sometimes that breakthrough, that brilliance will lead to great success. I love that the Ace of Worlds came out, Ace of Pentacles, that opens the door to a brand new world. And on the Rider-Waite deck, the Ace of Pentacles, there's this garlanded entryway into the new world that you're stepping into. And I always feel like that garlanded doorway is the same portal of the world card in that same deck, where the lady is in the garlanded portal. So it's like you've got to go through one doorway to close out old cycles so that you can enter the doorway into the new world. And then you've got this Ace of Wands, which is fire energy, and they call it illumination. So it does feel like between this brilliance, illumination, and success, there's some great new opportunity just on the other side of this transformational fear that you're having to face right now. And this illumination, it leads you to great creativity, and you just never know what you might find there. So go into this with, I guess that whole laughing wolf story is, you never know where life is trying to take you through the worst experiences that could ever happen. And so again, we've got the Sage of Worlds. I love how this Ace of Worlds appeared out of nowhere. It wasn't there. It wasn't underneath. Because truly the way they were, it was this Sage of Worlds, which says, just work on what you can. Do what you can, and that will help to turn the wheel. And then underneath that was the Ace of Worlds, and then underneath that was the Four of Wands. So again, I honestly don't know where this Ace of Wands came from. I'm fucking thrilled though. And so just with that, you never know what could just manifest. It does feel like miracles are often waiting for us once we just start putting our energy into something else. And sometimes we just have to accept what fate has brought us to. We do have free will. We are sovereign beings, but in the greater cycles of life, sometimes surrender is a part of it. Sometimes things do break down. I'm surprised that the tower didn't come down or didn't come out in this card reading, because it feels like the whole reading is the tower. But what I love is that the Four of Wands did come out, and the Four of Wands is a finish line. They call this aspiration. And so with this Ace of Wands and this Four of Wands, it's like this illumination into crossing the finish line. The Four of Wands is also the 1111. And the 1111, it's an activation code. It's a portal into itself. It's a doorway to cross into a new realm of consciousness. And so something is here to inspire you to I guess it's to close the door on whatever is ending for you, and allowing yourself to open doorways. You've got the key to open the door to brand new ideas, brand new worlds, brand new aspirations. So hang in there. Don't give up. All is not lost, and even if all feels like it's lost, it's just lost so that you can start all over again. Again, it feels like a tower reading as well as a full reading. Also want to point out that not only do we have the three aces, we've also got the Magician, the Death card, and the Devil's Play card, which are all major arcanas. And I always feel like with 3 or more major arcanas, you're at a major point of destiny. And with any major arcanas, but you've got the Magician, the Death, and the Devil. So there's some kind of new inspiration in the works for you. All right, that's all I have for today. If you would like a personal reading, you're welcome to hit me up either on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, also airyfairytarot@gmail.com, or if you just happen to be in the downtown Asheville area in North Carolina, come on into Instant Karma. It's a one-stop hippie shop. We got all kinds of groovy tapestries, candles, crystals, tarot decks, fucking very cool clothes, all kinds of cool shit. So come on into Instant Karma, or you can shop Instant Karma Asheville online. Either way, peace and love. Until next time.